Hello and welcome to It's Time for Yarn. If you like to crochet, if you like crochet blankets, then you're in the right place. Stick around to see what I've been up to recently. Before we get going on this blanket tour, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. Vita, can you take your bath somewhere else? Ugh. First up, I have this baby blanket that I was making for my cousin. His wife is pregnant with a baby boy. If you didn't guess the football team that this was themed after, it's Alabama Crimson Tide, Roll Tide. I made this using just a simple half double crochet, just back and forth, no pattern or anything. I used 2 strands of the Hugo fur together to make this center part and this edging here. The gray, I was going to use the Crafter's Secret that I got from Hobby Lobby in gray, but I found this in my stash, and it's a heavy 6 weighted yarn, and it goes better, the thickness and the feel goes better with this Hugo fur. So I decided to go ahead and use that, just kind of use it up. It's like 3 different ones, but to use them up for my stash and to still get the gray that I needed to go along with this. Now, I need to share that this project did not go exactly like I planned. If you look closely at it, if you lay it out flat, it doesn't make a good square. It's kind of like tapered. It kind of goes like this. Like it started out this wide and then it slowly got skinnier as it went up. But by the time I realized that, it was too late to go back, and I was like, you know what? It's gonna be fine. Let me put a border on it. Let me put some tassels to distract, and it'll be fine. Like, the baby can play on it. They can just take it to the park and lay on it, and it'll be fine. Now, I am making a different blanket using a different kind of yarn for them, because I do want them to have one that I'm proud of. You know, this one's cute. It's fun, but it isn't as perfect as I'd like it to be for a gift. So I am making another one. They'll just get 2, and it's fine. I am pretty proud of these tassels. Look at that. Look at those tassels. I don't usually do tassels. That's like the finishing work that I'm not very good at, but whipped these up today, and I was like, oh, look at that little tassel. It's so cute. So anyway, I'll be sending this to my cousin, and I thought it was important to share because not every project goes according to plan, and they can still be used, they can still be loved, and that's okay to not be perfect. Something that I'm learning every day. Okay, guys. You all, if you've been watching my channel, have seen me share the Caron jumbo yarn that I got in my very first Ollies haul that I posted. Obviously, it's not my very first Ollies haul ever, just the first one on YouTube. But I was so excited to try the Colorpooling. You might have seen a sneak peek of it when it was this big. But hey, now it is this big. Look at that. Look at it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited with how this looks. Look at it. Now, this is using 2 skeins of the Caron jumbo. I do have 4 more. I don't think I'm going to use all 4. I'm definitely going to use 1 more. So this isn't quite finished. I tied it off with a little stitch marker to hold it so it doesn't come undone. But I'm definitely going to add 1 more skein to it. I just couldn't wait to show it to you guys. I just couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to do it. So here it is on the blanket tour here. But I'm definitely going to add 1 more. Not sure if I'll add 2 more or not. I don't know. I might just use 3 and then use the other 3 to make another blanket. Make another one because it's going so well. Some people have asked for a tutorial for that. I'm going to do my best to work on that. I've never done a tutorial, so, start off with something hard. Yeah, if we're going to do it, let's do it, right? So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see how long that takes me to get that going. But my plan for this is to I was planning to do just like a border in a solid color, maybe this dark plum here, or maybe even the orange, but after those tassels on that one, I'm thinking maybe I could do some tassels on here. I don't know. I have to think about it. Let me know in the comment section what you think I should do for this. Maybe both. Maybe a border and tassels. I don't know. Maybe I'm bitten by the tassel bug. We'll see. This blanket is one that is pretty near and dear to my heart. It's one of the oldest blankets I have, and it's made of several different kinds of squares. You see I did a couple here, did one here. This is a solid. This is made from yarn that I got actually at, I think, a garage sale. It was like in a bag with lots of other colors for like $5. I was like, okay, great. I mean, it's probably been about 20 years ago that I got this yarn, and I made this. I was really just getting into like, really, okay, I'm gonna build my skills, I'm gonna learn some new things. So I got a book that had several different patterns for squares. I think it was Vanna White's book, actually. If I can find a link for it, I'll link it below. I tried to find it, but the way my stash is right now is kind of wild, so I couldn't find the book. But if I can find a link for it, to link for you guys, I will do that. But I made lots of different squares so that I could practice reading the patterns, practice just making a square. and I enjoyed it because I was able to complete a square quickly, you know, relatively quickly at the time. That wasn't as fast as I am now, but I was able to complete a square and the square was finished. So I had that feeling of accomplishment, like, okay, it's done. And then I collected the squares as I practiced and then just joined them all together to make this super comfy blanket. It's actually one of my favorite blankets. I decided to do it all in one color so that I wouldn't have to worry about running out, and it's relatively one color. Like, this is more a yellow cream, this is more of a whiter cream, but it's all cream. So when it's laying around the house, it just looks like a cream blanket, like it's meant to be that way. But I really was just using the yarn that I had. I've never really had a very big yarn budget. Like right now in my life is the best time I've ever had in buying yarn. I'm like, yes, I have extra money to buy yarn, but you know, it was the struggle bus for a while there. So I just used what I had, and I feel like I made something beautiful. So if you're a beginner, if you're starting out, I encourage you to get a book that has several different squares to practice those stitches, practice reading those patterns, and it's one square. So if you mess it up, okay, I messed up one square. The whole blanket, case in point, the whole blanket's not messed up if I mess up one square. I can either toss that square, take it out, frog it, start over again, or move on to a different kind of square and practice that instead. And when you gather enough squares, connect them all together, and you've got a nice blanket for yourself. Viviola decided to join us. Next up, I have this Chevron blanket that I used making this navy, this cream, and this sage color. This blanket was a little bit frustrating for me to begin with. I made this blanket as my first experience with increasing and decreasing, like joining together. And when you're making these valleys, you have to crochet two together here. And like the increase and the peak here wasn't a big deal, but these valleys really were confusing to me at first. And then on the edge here, it had a special together stitch over here. And so it was kind of frustrating to me at first. So I started it, I worked on it, was doing great. And then I put it down because I hit a snag where I had done the wrong color. So my color sequence got off and I was so annoyed. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I just threw it in a bag and threw it in the closet. And I was like, I'll get back to that when I feel like it. Because right now I'm done. I'm done with you. You're getting on my nerves. So anyway, I'm just telling you that's the fit that I had. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever had that feeling, have ever acted that way towards your blankets or towards your crochet projects, but sometimes they need to be put in timeout. And this blanket had to be put in timeout for a minute. But then I decided I was better. It probably was about a year, maybe 2 years later that this sat in my unfinished objects bin, and then I pulled it back out and I was like, okay, let me give this another try. And part of that was because I had done another blanket that had a two together stitch, and it made more sense because I had already done it with this one. I was like, oh, that's what that is. All right. And the light bulb went off, ding ding. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry for putting you in timeout. So I got it back, got it out, pulled it out, and got going on it, and finished it up. I bordered it with a few rows of each of the colors, and these are just single crochets over and over and over. So this part took forever. Probably took as long to do this part as it did the rest of it. But anyway, this is just a simple chevron. I really like the way it turned out. And actually, when I caught the plague, you know which plague I'm talking about. Last summer, I had a fever every day for 12 days straight, and laid under this blanket and actually my, I guess that's a quilty one, a patchwork blanket over there. These two together were just so comforting and so nice. Just the right weight, just the right feel, just the right warmth. And I slept under them for 2 weeks straight when I had the plague. So, you know, I was really thankful for them. I really enjoy the look of this one. The neutral colors with the pop of blue are just really beautiful to me. So I enjoyed this. Don't give up on your blankets. Put them in timeout and then come back to them when you're ready. I have to show you guys this. So adorable. I mean, so cute. Oh my gosh, my heart. All right, you're cute too, Reveal. I love you too. My next blanket is actually kind of a 2-for-1. 2-for-1. These are blankets that I made from the yarns that I got from Ollies. In my very first YouTube video, that haul is what got it all started. But I had enough of those to make 2 of these blankets. Ooh, there it is. So soft, so cozy. Love them. My cats love them. I guess it's the softness of the fur. I don't know. This is the Huga fur as well. But the difference in this blanket and this one is that I held 1 strand of Huga fur and 1 strand of just a regular medium 4 weighted yarn. I think it was the Heat Wave, actually. This one I held it together with a bulky 6, and then this one that was just kind of like the one that didn't have a label, and it was just like one big ball of really pretty yarn. As I held it together with the fur. This is the one that has the Heat Wave, just the 4 weighted yarn with it. I prefer that method with the Huga yarn. I'm still tripping up over that word, Huga. Okay, it doesn't look like Huga, but I am trying to say it right. Okay, and so it's hard. Just forgive me. Anyway, so the Huga fur, I feel like it does better when you hold it together with a strand of something else. You can see it better. I feel like the texture is better. On that one, it feels kind of like carpet. I mean, it's good carpet. It's luxury carpet, but it still feels kind of like carpet. So I'm like, I don't want to be covered up with carpet, you know? but with this yarn, it just feels soft. It just feels cozy. So I'm like, okay. So I've learned something about the Huga fur. It needs to be held together with something else in order for it to do well. Excuse me, hiccup. In order for it to do well. Viola, are you taking a bath too? We don't take baths on camera. We're on camera. Yeah. Okay, slight intermission. Sorry, guys. So like I was saying, the Huga fur does better when you hold it together with another strand of a different kind of yarn that's easier to see. It just makes the texture feel better. You can see it better. And I'm telling you, with this grainy chevron, it did great. I'm like, yes, I need to make more with the maroon Huga fur that I have. Forget trying to do a half double crochet. The granny chevron is where it's at with the Huga fur. So if you found any of these to be inspiring, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stick around for more good stuff. Always remember, guys, no matter what time it is, it's time for yarn.